Hey there, Carter here at School of Wrench, and we are doing our very first video, and we thought it would be appropriate because Dawn ended up with a broken vehicle this morning. We had it towed back to the house with VCAA. Before we did that, I went down to where it was broken down and diagnosed that it needed a starter motor. So the solenoid is this part here. The starter motor is this larger part, and what's commonly referred to as the Bendix is this gear. It comes out like this. When you turn over the engine, the starter motor starts to turn. On the end of the starter motor is a worm gear. That worm gear throws this gear outwards. It engages with the engine and turns the engine over, and then when the engine is running and you shut off, this flips back to its normal position. It can start the car and then that gear move away from the gear that it turned to start the vehicle. Now the way that the solenoid works is, because this is a high torque starter motor, it requires a lot of amperage. So rather than run heavy cords through the firewall and up to the ignition switch and have a heavy duty ignition switch, what they did is they put a solenoid in so that they wouldn't have to do that, because amperage also creates heat. So if you had just small wires trying to turn this starter motor over, the amperage would melt the wires. So you have to have a nice heavy cable, like your battery cable. The same size cable goes to this solenoid. So what happens is, electricity comes down from your ignition switch when you turn the starter motor over, and it goes to this terminal. Okay, inside is a coil and a magnet. That magnet, when the coil is electrified, moves. And when it moves forward, it has a bar on it that makes connection with these two terminals. One terminal is connected to the positive of the battery, and one terminal is connected directly to the starter motor. So when these two touch, you now have power going directly to the starter motor, and that's what turns it over.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I do.
Okay, so this must have more than one application, the starter motor. It probably fits on a couple of different Ford models that have this 3-liter V6 engine. And it has this wire on it here that says, do not remove lead, simply crimp to the old wire. Well, the old wire on this Ford has this convenient little package here that goes over both of these leads on the solenoid, so we can eliminate this wire. Now, as you can see, our starter motor also has this ground, okay? This is going to be going to the positive of the battery. This goes to ground.
Okay. What does that mean? To ground?
To earth, to
okay.
The body of the vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right.
So this wire is going to go, it gets bolted in like this. One bolt here, one bolt on the other side. And you can see that they are what's called a tower bolt.
Okay.
Because it has this extra tower on top that's threaded.
Okay.
Okay, at least that's what I call it. So once this is bolted in, you now have threads here that you can ground the starter motor to the rest of the vehicle. Okay? So that's what your ground is, and this is what your positive is.
Okay.
You have your cable set here, and you also have heater hoses. Okay? These hoses are going to your heater core. Those supply warm water to the heater core, which heats up the inside of your car.
Okay.
So we got to make sure that these are pulled out of the way when putting the starter motor in place. And we also have to make sure that we don't nick them or damage them, so that we end up with a coolant leak later on down the road, and then you're stranded again. So we're going to pull them out of the way, but before we do that, something I neglected to do earlier that I should have done is we're going to remove the ground from the battery so that
Why are we doing that?
we're going to do that so that the battery will be disconnected.
Okay.
So that if we end up touching this hot wire that we just discussed is connected to the battery, the positive of the battery, if that wire happens to touch ground, then it's going to spark and it's going to be
Dangerous.
yes.
Okay.
You never want sparking underneath the hood, especially near a battery. Batteries can sometimes leak, and if there's any kind of fumes that are coming off that battery and it sparks near the battery, it can explode.
That's scary.
Yes. So we're going to remove the ground wire from the battery, so that will essentially disconnect the battery from the system, and we won't have to worry about anything like that happening. So now we're going to take our starter motor. We're going to pull back our wire bundle, and with my right hand I'm going to go underneath, pull back these heater hoses, and feed my starter motor in through here. And then switch hands. And a nice thing about the starter motor, if you come down here and you have a quick look, it has locating pins on it. And so there's a hole, there's two holes in the transmission housing that this is going to bolt up to. One of the holes the bolt goes through, and one of the holes this pin goes in. One on either side, so misalignment is impossible. Once these pins fall into place, then you just drop your bolts in and you tighten them up. And if you look further down here, you can see right down there, that square hole is where it lines up.
Yep.
Okay, that's what it's going to bolt to. And you can see the bolt holes.
Yeah.
See the bolt holes?
I do.
And do you see that extra hole behind the bolt hole?
Yeah.
That's where the pin is going to fall into.
Okay.
At least one of them.
Okay. And so I just thought I would pause it while Carter struggles, because nobody wants to see that. I thought you'd like to see my beautiful face instead.
So now we're going to take bolt number 1, and it's going to go on the far side.
Is there a reason why you're doing the far side first?
Just because I love Gary Larson. He's got a great take on just about everything. So we're going to start with the far side. So I'm going to give the bolt to Dawn. She knows exactly where it's going, and she's going to put it down in there and get it started. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. So you're going to be turning this bolt clockwise.
To the right, yes.
Okay, when you start it.
Yeah.
So we're going to give it the bolt, and I'm going to continue the filming.
Turning to the right.
Can you feel it? You're already in there?
Yeah, I'm already.
And you're already turning?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Then start the second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got it. It's a little bit more snug than the other side was. So it's going to need a tool in order to be tightened more.
Did you just call me a tool?
Yeah. I think I did.
Okay. All right, so she is correct. Once you start getting a couple of threads, there's just not enough space there for Dawn to turn that bolt more than a couple of turns. So we're gonna get a socket and an extension, and we're gonna use that to give us a little more leverage.
Perfect.
Okay? So I'll show you what I mean. We're just gonna drop that down over top of the bolt. And if you come down and look here, you can see that I now have a bar here that I can turn kind of like the handle of a screwdriver.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So now I just turn this and get it tightened until it lands, until it's tightened all the way down finger tight, and then we can go in there with the ratchet and tighten it. And you want to do this because in confined spaces, you're only going to get a quarter turn with a ratchet at a time, and it's going to take you forever if the bolt is this long.
Right.
So you go in there and you get down as far as you can with your fingers before you go in there with the ratchet. So that is the near side one tightened down. And Dawn is going to come over here and spin it in just like she's turning a screwdriver, so she can feel exactly what it feels like to do it.
Am I going the right way? Which way should I be going? Right again?
Right again, yeah. You're tightening, so you want to go clockwise.
Okay, so it's still going.
Yeah,
Okay,
keep going until it's
stopped.
so tight that you can't tighten it
Now
anymore.
it has stopped.
Okay, so now they are both hand tight.
Okay.
So now we can go over them with the ratchet. Okay,
Okay.
so I'll show you what we're talking about. So now we take the extension and the socket that we just had and we put them on the ratchet.
Okay.
So now I come down. I can't see the head of the bolt, so I'm going to use my fingers.
Okay.
I can feel the head of the bolt, and I'm going to guide the socket to there with my fingers.
And how do you make sure you're going the right way with the ratchet?
Well, the ratchet, you want to be going clockwise to tighten, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's clockwise.
Mm-hmm.
If I go counterclockwise with this ratchet in this position right now,
It does that.
it ratchets back and this doesn't turn.
Okay.
If I want to loosen something and go left counterclockwise, I turn this on top of the ratchet.
Okay. All right.
Now it goes this way
Right.
and won't go this way.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so
we
we
want-
want to tighten, so we want to go clockwise.
Clockwise.
Okay,
All right.
so then we use our fingies to feel where the top of the bolt is, and we get our socket on there. Once we're on, we can start tightening. Now you can hear it. I tighten,
Yep.
and then when I pull back to reload the ratchet, listen.
Yes. I
Click,
hear
click,
it.
click, click, click. You can hear the ratchet clicking.
Yeah.
So we're tightening, and we're gonna move to the other side before this side is completely tight, so that things go down evenly.
Brilliant.
You don't want to tighten one side all the way and then have this side bind
That makes sense.
because you've tightened this side too much.
Mm-hmm.
So you go back and forth. Okay, so we're just tightening up the last terminal on top of the solenoid.
I'm being such a good student and filmmaker, and after this, I'm gonna take Carter in the house and let me give him a piano lesson. We'll see
what?
how that goes. Give you a piano lesson.
Oh. I don't know where middle C is. Got the negative battery terminal, and we're gonna let Dawn do that.
Uh-oh. How is Dawn gonna do that?
Just grab the terminal. You can see I have it tucked under here.
Mm-hmm.
So now we just place that over top of the terminal. Put it all the way down.
But I don't want to touch it.
Push
right?
on both. Yeah, you can touch it.
I can touch this?
Yes. Put it on both sides.
Okay, but
Like
isn't it
push
gonna
down on both
spark?
sides. No, honey.
Okay, I'm nervous.
Yeah, twist and push at the same time. And make it go all the way down.
It doesn't look quite as good as it did before.
No, it didn't. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take something soft,
Oh, okay.
like the plastic end of a screwdriver, and we're just gonna pound that down
Okay.
just a little bit to make sure that it's all the way on. And now you can see
Yeah.
the terminal has risen above the height of the clamp, so we are good to tighten it down. Okay, so the starter motor is in, and we have our electronics, or our cables rather, hooked up to the terminals on the solenoid. So what's left, Dawn? You see anything that's a miss? Anything we haven't done?
No. I don't.
Oh, what's this cable hanging here?
Oh, the ground. Man,
You don't seem very grounded.
No.
Okay, so as I mentioned, and we're going to do the finger feel again,
Okay.
and find the top of that bolt and slide that cable over top of it, and we're there now.
Excellent.
And then the nut that goes over top of that again, I'm going to use the original because you can see it has also a nice shoulder.
Oh, so both of the nuts off the original had the shoulder and the new ones didn't.
Yeah, it's very common.
Okay.
Original hardware is usually much better than anything that you find
And
aftermarket.
since it's still in good shape, why not use it?
Exactly. And it has a nice shoulder and spreads the load on that cable, ensuring that you have an excellent connection on your ground.
Okay. That makes sense.
Wires have a life of their own. In the time that we were just talking, that wire by itself popped off of the terminal that I was putting it on. So had I just gone down there and just put the nut on,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be able to start this vehicle. So now I'm putting the cable back on. Okay, now, you were asking me, oh, is it okay to touch this? Yes, just like any battery, if you touch one side of it, nothing's going to happen
Oh,
because the
okay.
current has to flow between both terminals,
Okay.
okay? And even with a 12-volt battery, like this, there's not enough in this battery to cause you any kind of harm.
Okay.
At least when it's in stationary mode like this.
Okay.
If you were to unleash the amperage, then you could get a decent shock.
Okay.
But just touching the terminals, no.
Okay.
So every time that you see a program like Dexter, and he's got someone strung up, and he's got a battery, and he's hooking the terminals up, that's not going to do anything except
Dexter
possibly,
doesn't torture people like that.
I know, I'm just giving an example. But it's not going to do anything except possibly excite the guy. We're
Okay.
done. We have the old starter motor here. The new one is installed.